Understanding Good and Well at GrammarSongs by Melissa. How many times has a simple question left you confused? How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there. Why is this such a tricky situation for both children and adults? Understanding when to use good and when to use well correctly will have a positive effect on your speaking and writing. One point to remember is that good is an adjective. Adjectives can describe or modify nouns. Well is an adverb. Adverbs can describe or modify action verbs. This is why it would be correct to say, she is good. Good is an adjective describing the lady. The lady is a noun. Or it is correct to say, she paints well, because well is describing the action verb paints. Well is telling how she paints. Another helpful tip is to look at the verb. If the verb is a linking verb like am, is, are, was, were, or seem, for example, you need to use the adjective good. Remember, linking verbs simply connect your subject to more information. If the verb is an action verb like paints, you want to tell how the action is or was performed. The action was performed well. It is also important to note that verbs involving the 5 senses, looks, sounds, smells, feels, or tastes, act as linking verbs requiring the adjective good. This makes sense because you would say, the cookie looks good, the music sounds good, the flower smells good, the pillow feels good, or the pizza tastes good. In all these cases, the adjective good is describing the subject. So remember, when you're speaking or writing and you are deciding whether to use good or whether to use well, first, decide if you are describing your subject, the noun, or the action being performed, the verb. Then, look at the verb to decide if it is linking, connecting information, or action, doing. Let's practice using good or using well in some simple sentences. If we're describing the subject and using a linking verb or a verb involving the 5 senses, we'll choose good. If we're describing the action being performed and using an action verb, we'll choose well. The concert sounded blank. Did the concert sound good or well? Let's look at our clues. Our subject is the concert and sounded is our verb. Since we are describing our subject, the concert, and using a verb involving the 5 senses, sounded, we should choose good. The concert sounded good. Another clue is that I can substitute the verb sounded for other linking verbs that make sense. I could say the concert was good, or the concert seemed good. Replacing my verb with other linking verbs helps me know that good is the right choice for this sentence. Hooray! Let's practice choosing good or choosing well one more time. Judy studied blank for her test. Should I choose good or well for this sentence? Well, let's look at our clues. Judy is my subject because she is who or what my sentence is about. And studied is my verb. So is my sentence describing Judy or describing her actions? Since Judy studied for her test, I'm describing Judy's action. She studied, and studied is an action verb, so I should choose well. Judy studied well for her test. Well is an adverb that tells how Judy studied. I can also replace the action verb studied with other action verbs that make sense. Judy prepared well for her test, or Judy practiced well for her test. Replacing my verb studied with other action verbs helps me know that well is the right choice for this sentence. Hooray! So remember, if you are describing your subject or noun and using a linking verb or verb involving the 5 senses, use good. And if you're describing the way an action was performed and using an action verb, choose well. He sure is good. He plays very well. Thank you for joining me at GrammarSongs by Melissa.